Hello my friends, welcome to StarCraft Mass Recall, 3rd campaign, the Protoss campaign, the Fall, or as some people call it, the Autumn. We're going to jump right into this. I am excited. I like playing Protoss because they have laser hands and that's really all I need. Plus, Dragoons are hilarious. Super excited. The Zerg Overmind has succeeded in invading the Protoss homeworld of Ire and has embedded itself into the crust of the planet. Now, as the agents of the sinister Overmind spread chaos and destruction across the face of Ire, the stalwart Protoss defenders prepare themselves for the coming onslaught.
Entaro Adun, Executor. I am Judicator Aldaris. I have been sent by the Conclave to serve and counsel you. The former Executor, Tassadar, was commanded to halt the Zerg progress in the Terran sector by burning the infested human worlds. Unfortunately, he disregarded his orders and attempted to destroy the Zerg while sparing the Terrans from the flame. Clearly, Tassadar has failed us. You must not. The Conclave has dictated that our first priority is to strengthen our defenses. You must reinforce our outpost in Antioch and make certain that the province does not fall to the Zerg. Your old comrade, Praetor Phoenix, will meet you there and assist you in this endeavor.
Praetor Phoenix? How exciting. Is there going to be an intro cutscene? Is it going to be cool? Oh no. That's going to destroy an entire Protoss Legion. Dragoons Imba? Dragoons Imba. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works in the actual game. Those Dragoons would have died terribly. So for anyone that doesn't know, it is, I believe, like officially confirmed in the lore that the player that you play as in this version, oh, I gotta turn the sound down one sec. The player that you play as in this version of the game is actually Artanis. He is the Praetor or whatever that you start out as, and this campaign is effectively the story of him working his way up the ranks, as opposed to in the Terran campaign where you play as a magistrate who has a lot of similarities to Matt Horner, but is confirmed not to be him because of too many lore inaccuracies. And in the Zerg campaign, where you play as a Cerebrit, and obviously in StarCraft 2 there are no Cerebrits. They're all dead. So, you don't play as either of those, but in this campaign you do play as Artanis himself. Ooh, some Hydras. Zealots are so chonky, look at this. Their stats are like very similar to their StarCraft 2 component, but just because of how damage works in this game, where everything does a certain amount of damage and then decreased based on attack type, they're a lot chunkier.
It is good to see you once more upon the field of battle. I feared we would be left to protect the province with no reinforcements. I should not have questioned the Conclave's judgments so hastily.
Hey, Phoenix. So normally,
all of our probes were lost in the last Zerg attack, and we had no resources with which to replace them. And for Ire,
it really kind of seems like very logical to me that Phoenix is really bad at macro. You know what I mean? He's definitely the type of guy who would just accidentally do a no production run.
intended to construct photon cannons here for defense, but without probes we could not do so.
He would just go in and murder everything on his own. And he'd be like, oh, what is this macro thing? I don't know. I just stab people with my laser swords. Everyone's like, all right, give Phoenix a promotion. We got other people that can figure out that macro. Someone go find Artanis. We'll teach him. All right, so we have 2 units to begin with. We have the chunky Zealot, and we have the Dragoon, who takes up about half of a mile. does decent amount of damage, and is ranged. Unfortunately, range 4 is pretty bad. Always need to get that cybernetics core for that +2 range upgrade. One thing that I find interesting in StarCraft 2 is there's a lot less like range upgrades for basic tier units. So for example, in StarCraft 1, the Marine has a range upgrade, the Dragoon has a range upgrade, and the Hydralisk, which is Hatch Tech, has a range upgrade. But if you go into StarCraft 2, the Hatch Tech Zerg unit, the Roach, does not have a range upgrade, nor does the Ravager. The Stalker does not, the Marine does not, the Marauder does not, nothing does. It's not until you get to that layer/Robobay tech that you're really finding the range upgrades, and I guess the Liberator? Is that the only one that the Terran has on their side? I think so. It's just a very interesting dichotomy, because it makes rushes a lot less strong in StarCraft 1 in a lot of different ways. So for example, if you are playing as Terran versus Protoss, and you want to attack early as a Protoss, you have to get that Dragoon range upgrade, because you need to be able to outrange the bunker that has Marines in it. And then the Terran can either get the range upgrade for their Marines, or they can get siege tanks out in the amount of time it takes you to get that upgrade. It makes aggression a lot more committed.
Although we two have marched across hundreds of worlds together, I never imagined that we would be fighting on Aya. The Zerg are indeed worthy foes.
I love that the Phoenix is just like really excited. He's just like, man, remember all the times we slice and diced people? Absolutely. I'm really excited for this one. They're pretty good at fighting. Unlike the Warjats that we fought on Atrador 7, they were pretty lame. I hope none of those things exist that I just said. By the way, so normally Phoenix hero units you want to be a little bit careful with. I am absolutely charging Phoenix into the head of battle, because that is the only reasonable thing for any StarCraft player to do. If you don't do that, you are actually assaulting his belief system, and you're a bad person. He's got to go in and fight. He hungers for battle. He says it himself. Hungry, hungry Phoenix. Alright, so unfortunately his health box seems to not necessarily stick with him. Oh, it's like in his middle. That's weird. Usually you want the health box to be above people, but alright Phoenix, you can do what you want. If that's what works for you, you survive this long, and I'm sure you're going to survive for a nice healthy amount of time after this. Then you can have your health box be inside the middle of you. So, looking at my economy, I need to be safe. I know that the base that I have to kill is up here, and I think there might be stuff up here as well. And then there's this gas geyser, which might have a base associated with it, I actually don't know. One thing I have to be careful about is, under your guys' suggestion, I turned on the special hero abilities, which I've been using for a while now. And this one gives Phoenix charge. Now, Phoenix does have 2 base armor and 240 shields, 240 HP, making him very, very bulky, but at the same time, he is a hero unit, and he will probably try to get himself killed. I'm gonna send 1 Zealot over. Oh, we don't have Zealot speed, and we don't have Twilight Council available either, which means we're going to be... Oh, good thing I didn't send Phoenix, huh? I just want to do a little bit of scouting. Got him. Okay, we're gonna send that guy out. Gateway units just aren't that good without their upgrades. That is a very common theme between StarCraft 1 and 2. The Zealot is definitely better in StarCraft 1 without upgrades than it is in StarCraft 2, where it's basically garbage. But I do find it interesting that they take the base tier unit of the faction and make it... God, this gas guys are so stupid. Oh. Thank goodness the Zerg are nearsighted. We're going to get the shields upgrade. Maybe not. So shields have a couple problems in StarCraft 1. First of all, everything does full damage to shields. As I was talking about before, there is that system where units in StarCraft 1, they do full damage and then it's subtracted by armor type. Instead of the way it works in StarCraft 2, where it is you do part damage and then you do additional to various armor types. What that means is that shields gets really, really punished because they take full damage from everything. And then the shield regeneration rate in StarCraft 1 is very, very low. Like, that's actually fast. I thought it was slower than that. It might be increased for Master Recall, but it's way slower than StarCraft 2, for example. That's one of the things that they very intentionally changed between the games. So that, yeah, this is definitely faster. Well, I'm glad that Master Recall buffed it at least, because shields kind of sucked. Additionally, eventually we will get the shield battery, which I'm excited for because according to the YouTube comments, that has been buffed as well. The shield battery used to stun the target it was being used on, and it does not do that in Mass Recall because it made it useless. You also had to manually cast it, it wasn't auto-castable, and those things together just made life very tough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for one more attack wave to hit me. I'm actually starting to run out of minerals here, and then we're going to move forward. I don't know how well defended they are on the Mass Recall version, because I know for a fact that this army would be more than enough in the base game. You can actually just go with your initial troops in the base game, and if you micro well, you can take it out. That's a speedrun strat. But here, I'm a little bit more concerned. Oh, so one thing I wanted to talk about is a little bit of game development stuff. I've been thinking about game design, especially regarding Protoss, because Protoss is a little bit of a contentious issue in stuff. You know, Reddit hates them because they, 2010 Idra was like, Protoss is bad, and that has imprinted on them permanently. But there definitely are some interesting things about Protoss that are worth talking about. So, Warp Gate is a really cool function that is like so core designed with Protoss in StarCraft now, right? You could not really take away Warp Gate and Protoss wouldn't feel the same. But at the same time, it has hurt Protoss.
I was remembering the time we faced the Tagal on Danath 7. They outnumbered us 30 to 1 that day, yet we overcame their legions like true Templar. Just as we shall overcome our foes today. Oh, I wish Tassadar could be here with us.
I love Phoenix. So Warp Gate, you have to make gateway units weaker for Warp Gate to be viable. Otherwise, it's just too imbalanced. And one of the things is that gateway units in Protoss are supposed to be absurdly powerful. Like, in the lore, a Zealot is ridiculous. A High Templar is, like, able to just dispatch entire platoons on his own. So how do you rectify that? If you were to make StarCraft 3, what would you do to make it so that Protoss could keep the lore of Warp Gates, but also keep the lore of strong gateway units? Is there a way to actually make that work together in a balanced way, or is it just two pieces of conflicting design? I'd be really interested to hear thoughts, because I think people have talked about this for a long time and it's never truly been solved. Easy base, by the way. I could have gone way earlier. I just didn't know. There was nothing in that cup. Camera panning right into Phoenix's crotch. You gotta do the fan service, huh? Is that how it is, Mass Recall people? So degenerate. We're in anime now. Tassadar is everyone's waifu. Okay. Into the Flame, Citadel of the new Protoss Executor, the following night. Oh, one sec, you gotta talk to me louder, my friend. I'll get better at micromanaging this eventually, I promise.
Entaro Adun, Executor. Your defense of Antioch has restored my faith in the Templar caste. I admit that Tassadar's desertion had shaken my faith.
Indeed, Aldaris. I would hope that the Judicator would put more faith in their Templar brethren.
Tassadar, where have you been?
Be silent, Judicator. There is no time to waste, and I have much to tell you. As you know, the Zerg vanished after the fall of the Terran world of Tarsonis. And though the Conclave bid me return home, I was compelled to remain. A powerful psionic call drew my attention to a remote barren world named Char. Apparently the call was answered by others as well. For upon Char, I encountered those who were once our brethren, the Dark Templar.
Consorting with the Fallen Ones is heresy.
Enough! Hear me, Executor, for I have learned much from the Dark Templar prelate, Zeratul. The Overmind controls its minions through agents called Cerebrates. Strike down the Cerebrates, and the swarms will surely fall.
Executor, Tassadar may be right. If you can keep the Zerg occupied, my force may be able to penetrate their perimeter and slay the abomination.
I pray we can trust you, Tassadar. Already I can sense the taint of the Fallen One's influence on your mind. You must return to Ire at once.
My concern is for the safety of Ire, not the judgments of the Conclave. I will return when the time is right.
I really like Tassadar. I always forget how much I like Tassadar. Because he seems like he's supposed to be a paladin goody two-shoes guy, but then he's just like, shut up, Aldaris. Slaps him across the face psionically. What a guy. Alright. Ooh, we're very zoomed out. Options, sound, voices, boom, boom, boom. I like how we actually got the whoa, that was weird. We actually got the minerals that were mined during that little cutscene. That's kind of wonderful. You actually get a tangible benefit for watching it. It's only a little bit, 24 minerals, but I'll take it. So what do we have access to this time? Shield battery, cannon, forge, gateway. So it looks like we have exactly the same stuff with the addition of the shield battery. And without the addition of Phoenix. We have to wait for 15 minutes until Phoenix gets into position. And until then, we're just going to macro up. Now, the way that this map goes is that there's a big... Basically, the entire right half of the base is Zerg. And in theory, in the normal game, you can bust it, kinda. You actually can't bust it truly until until Phoenix is in position. Maybe you can, I don't remember. But you can definitely get over to the Cerebrate and kill it. I'm gonna guess in this version that's a no. One part of it is that the StarCraft 2 unit pathing is much better at surrounding, so it's not like I could slip guys by. I'll have to fight through like a true Templar, and that'll take a bit. Okay, we're gonna send you guys to go scout around. Because I'm pretty sure there's a base on this mission, but I don't remember where. Which is exciting. This is like the first map that I truly just don't entirely remember the outline of, because it doesn't matter that much. And that means I get to learn with you guys. It might be to the north, it might be to the south. It is definitely to the north or the south. I'm thinking it's to the south now that I've gone to the north and I've found, I don't know what the statue is. An Archon? It looks like an Archon. Who doesn't have his blue bubble. Now, definitely what I want to do is get that +1 upgrade on the attack. Reason being is that I want to be able to two-shot the Lings instead of... Oh gosh. This is really bad. I might just be dead here. Yup. Alright, I powered a little bit too long. I have next to nothing. I tried to get this forge out. And I have no gas, so I can't hit this Muta. Alright. Yeah, this is not a salvageable one. Assimilators cost 100 minerals on this, so I can't even afford one to mine the gas to get. And they're right on top. Zerg. If you're not ready for the Zerg, they just absolutely will overwhelm you in about 4 seconds. And that is very lore appropriate. But man, they're hard at times. I guess we can't skip this. I can never tell because sometimes it's like you have to wait 5 or 6 seconds into the cutscene, then you can hit escape. Yeah, like exactly right there. Nice. All right. Let's... Well, I mean, it's a fan-made project. Sometimes things go wrong. Not gonna hold that against the game. Let's try this for a third time. All right, hands off the keyboard. We're gonna watch this amazing cutscene. I love it. You love it. We're at the Balrog Brood Hive Cluster, which is definitely not the Balrog because it has an extra letter in it, so don't sue them. Wait, isn't Balrog like one of the Lost Vikings? Is it Eric, Olaf, and Balrog? Is this his? Is this what he's been doing the entire time? So, first of all, I scouted up here and I learned that there is nothing, which means that I don't have to take my units and bring them away. Instead, I'm just going to sit at the top of this ramp. Then I'm going to defend against that really scary attack wave that murdered me, and then I'll be ready to move out. Easy peasy. I don't know if in Mass Recall the mischance is existent. Oh, I feel like we talked about this earlier in the Terran campaign, but I don't remember what the results were. If it was damage reduction, if it was a mischance, or if it just didn't exist in this version. But I think that I want to be at the top of this ramp and have the Hydra shooting from the low ground. Worst comes to worst, what ends up happening is that we kill the Zerglings and it denies them vision or something like that. Simulators are very expensive. Protoss tech in general in the beginning of StarCraft 1 is really, really costly. Gateways are the same 150, and then the cybernetics core is 200 minerals, and the simulator is 100 minerals. That is 75 extra minerals just for your basic tech stuff above what is normal in StarCraft 2, and you have to compare about the fact that you start with 4 workers normally. So you're really, really strapped for resources. As opposed to the Terran, who is... They don't have to get a cyber core, and neither does the Zerg. So that little bit is very expensive and slow to get up, and causes one of the bigger balance problems in Brood War, where PvZ is a bad matchup. It's like a really bad matchup. The number of professional Protoss players who just die to Zerg players that just go, yeah, I think I'm going to make a couple Hydras now. And they just walk them across the game at the very beginning. It's pretty bad. It's not my favorite matchup to watch. If you can get past that early stage of the game, it's actually a pretty good matchup. But the early bits are just nasty. Alright, we dealt with that. The good positioning on the high ground was wonderful. I'm going to try to afford a battery to help patch my guys up now that I know that it doesn't stun my friends, and we're going to play very safe and not very sorry. Like, look at this. I still cannot afford my cyber core. I just have so much other stuff that I have to go for. Definitely can't afford any cannons or anything. Luckily, batteries are only 100 minerals, which is nice. I thought they were more expensive, honestly. For some reason, I thought they were 150 in StarCraft 1, but that's obviously incorrect. I guess even at 100 minerals in my mind, they were a scam. But I'm excited to see this good version. So can they move while being... Yeah, they can move while being healed. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, the energy regeneration rate is normal, and it's only 2 shields per 1 energy as opposed to StarCraft 2, where I believe it's 3. Which is the same rate that a Medivac has. So, it's still not the greatest deal in the world, but it is way better than what it was before. We got 15 workers here. That's probably enough. Do I need an expansion? That is the real question. I'm like so sure this base exists. That I want it. But it takes so long to get bases saturated in this game, it might even not work before 10-minute mark. Okay, we gotta get the Dragoons targeting down the Mutas, otherwise things are gonna go bad. Oh, the battery's not doing a great job here. Oh no, don't kill me. I have zealots on the way. I'm trying. Oh my goodness, this mission. Zerg is scary. Well, I can hope that we get these zealots on top of stuff. I can't really pull my forces apart. Try to get another gate. We're going to hold this guy back until... Oh, no, they found him. Okay, Dragoons are now going to come out. And hopefully they can deal with the Muta. Ugh. Okay, we got him under the shield battery. We have 4 gates on the way. I really need this forge. And hopefully I haven't lost so much that I'm going to die to the next attack. I just don't have a way to spend this gas. That is one thing. I can get Singularity Charge for 150, 150. Get that Dragoon range. Hopefully that'll help, but right now, with no other tech available and most expensive thing costing 50 gas, I just was mining it too early. I'm going to try to get a good number of Dragoons. I'm actually going to try making a battery wall. No, batteries don't heal buildings in this, so that won't work. I'm instead just going to create a little thing right here and put my Dragoons on this side. I just need to be safe. Okay, we destroyed the Karaku. We can get the weapons upgrade. This might be safe. So what my thought is right here is the stuff like the Hydras will be on the low ground and they'll start shooting. The Zerglings will have to go all the way around. And that means the Hydras will position themselves right here. Uh-oh. I was expecting to have Hydra range when I started with this plan. Or not Hydra range, but Goon range. I don't have that yet. And 4 range is just so bad. We got the range of a roach right now. Which is hilarious because if you play any StarCraft co-op, you're like, aren't Dragoons supposed to be really long range? I believe that Artanis' version of the Dragoon has, what, 8 range or 9 maybe? It's this huge amount, and then in Mass Recall, they barely fire anywhere. Range upgrade almost done. So yeah, my goal is Zerglings come in, Hydras build up at the base of the ramp, we pull over here and engage the Zerglings, and the Hydras have to come all the way up there or get distracted on the pylons. And that's how we really cheaply use a wall to protect ourselves. I'm always a big fan of using cute SimCity out of the things that you have instead of investing in tons of static defense. It's not always perfect, but it can feel really cool when it works. That was like a mainstay of a lot of Deathless stuff, is just surviving off of that style of play. And I think I really grew to like it during that period. I'm really excited for this +1 attack upgrade. So Dragoons do 10 versus small, so it is 4 shots for them to kill a Zergling, which is a lot of hits. But I'm not feeling the Zealot right now. I need a little bit more economy. Zealot has always been a pretty bad 1 base unit, simply because they scale very well with numbers. A mid-game number of Zealots is great. An early game 1 or 2 against an AI who has pre-placed stuff, no. And then late game, they can be okay. It depends. They're no Zergling. But I don't like this 1 base. Here we go. Now we can shoot for... Never mind. Nice. You hit that critical mass of Dragoons and they're pretty good. I am worried about running out of money. There's 3 minutes left on this defense. First of all, we're not actually being attacked by very much. There were these really, really early super scary waves, and then there were not much. In fact, did we only get attacked 3 times, or was it actually 2? Let's just get an armor upgrade. Armor upgrade's definitely better on the Dragoon than shields because they have 100 HP and 80 shields. Same with the Zealot. Zealot has 60 shields and... oh, that's a lot of stuff. Good thing we have a battery. Yeah, it seems like a pretty good way to mess with the Hydra AI. Are Hydras small? They're medium. So you do 15 versus Hydras, I believe 15 versus Mutas, and 10 versus Lings. Meanwhile, the Ling just does 6 against everything. Oh gosh. Couldn't expand if we wanted to. Well, I can check to see if the expansion that I thought existed is down here. It is. Maybe if I had known this, things would have gone better. I just wasn't quite sure, and then I got very scared by the enemy. Let's long distance mine. We only have 1 minute 30 to live, so I think that having a giant wall right here of Dragoons should be enough to stay safe. Oh. One thing that does kind of suck is you... Jeez, okay. I should have been up near that battery. Don't have the micro potential that something like a Stalker has to keep these medium unit counts alive. Alright. Let's heal him up. He did good work. 40 more seconds. One of the reasons I'm trying to get this money is I'm pretty sure that there are Reavers on the Protoss side for Phoenix's stuff, and Reavers do cost money to fire. I guess that's one of those things that if you play only StarCraft 2, you probably don't know. The Reaver costs 15 minerals per scarab, and it has to build them. In StarCraft 1, this was really annoying because multi-build wasn't very good, so you didn't have fine control over what you were building when. Oh, these guys are going to get reaved. Look at them. Nobody is ever that conspicuously together.
Executor, we are in position. I await your orders.
Nobody just sits butt to butt with their friend if they're not going to get reavered. Everyone knows that. Yep, okay, we can rebuild. It does cost 15 scarabs per, or 15 minerals per scarab. But that's still pretty good. We got Phoenix here. We have his backup dancers on this side. And, we go this way? Wait, how do we get out of here? Alright, I'm just going to click on the low ground, and I'm going to watch my guy's path. Reavers, by the way... First of all, the animation doesn't really sync up very well. In this, I think they waddle a little bit too quickly, so it looks like they're supposed to go faster. Because I think that's the rate that they waddle and they move in co-op or whatever. Oh, that's hilarious. We're gonna just use this to get a Nexus. So, Reavers go forward and attack. They rebuild Scarabs, and then anyone that comes to contest the Reavers gets shot by Phoenix. I know Phoenix doesn't have a gun, but he's still going to shoot him. Man, just think what would happen if they gave Phoenix a gun and stim packs. Oh, Ire would have been saved a long time ago. One thing I kind of like about StarCraft 1 is that, like, you're not necessarily going to win when you go to a planet, you know? Like, in StarCraft 2, every time that the Protoss went somewhere, that meant that they were going to destroy everything there. But, I mean, if you played the beginning of Legacy of the Void, you know for a fact that Ire isn't exactly a Protoss colony at the beginning of that game. So, it's not like they were perfectly successful. I like the fact that you can go and do things without, like, being the superhero that wins the entire mission and world. There's gradients of success. And sometimes there's succeeding the mission and failing in other ways, the Ferric victories. I'm a big fan of that kind of stuff. It adds nuance to the world. And I feel like we don't have enough of that anymore. In most games in general, I think, there is this big kind of trend towards you being the ultimate superhero of awesomeness, and I find it to be very, very boring. I don't want to be a superhero because it's super immersion breaking and unrealistic, because I'm definitely not a superhero in real life, and I never will be. Alright, now that this base is mining, I'm most of the way done already. I thought there'd be a lot more here. I guess maybe what I pulled and did this giant thing over here was actually the defenders inside of here. That would make a lot of sense to me. Because Phoenix just kind of crashed through all... Oh, I see. There is a bunch of burrowed stuff. And a bunch of sunks. Alright, my fears were somewhat justified. But Phoenix is going to be able to bust his way through and do stuff. I like this hybrid mission design, by the way. I'm a big fan of the defend for a while and then do stuff, more so than the pure defense missions, personally. Because it feels like you were saving up for your reward and then you get your reward, and I think that's very nice. It also generally means that the defense portion is a bit shorter, and I think the defense missions are okay when they're short and sweet. I don't like the 45-minute ones because I have to do them a lot. Does anyone know which Cerebrate this is? Is this like the Cerebrate that you play as? It's definitely not Zaz. It could be Dagoth. I don't know. I don't know any other Cerebrate names. If someone knows that and could tell me in the comments.
Remain behind and observe the effects of our attack. Return to the Citadel. I shall notify you when the brood becomes erratic.
All right. Perfect. Thank you guys for watching. This is going to be the end of episode 1 of the Protoss thing. We will be back tomorrow with episode 2, where we continue to fight Zerg for quite a while, because that is kind of how StarCraft 1 works, is you fight against the same race over and over. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you had a good day. I hope you continue to have a good day. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.